If someone doesn't want to be in your life in the capacity in which you want them to be in your life, shouldn't be a factor for you to use your child as a weapon against them. Hi guys, welcome to the Prince Talk Show. I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that's been watching and a big thank you. All of the feedback, really nice, love it. So today I'm going to talk about a little bit of a sensitive topic, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed. It goes like this: stop using your child as a weapon against your partner. And people can weaponize the children in different ways, and it comes in different form. But I just want to talk about one specific scenario where people can actually weaponize the children and use them against the partner. And it goes both ways for both men and women. I'm going to address how women can do that and also how men can do that in terms of like weaponizing the children against the partner, specifically, maybe just to hurt them. Yeah, basically, that's what it is. Um, so, the specific scenario which I want to talk about is if someone doesn't want to be in your life in the capacity in which you want them to be in your life, shouldn't be a factor for you to use your child as a weapon against them to hurt them. Or I know it's quite difficult, and just listen to this again. If someone cannot or doesn't want to be in your life in the capacity in which you want them to be, should it be a factor for you to weaponize your children? And weaponization, first of all, people can say like, "Oh, what do you know about these?" or things like that. I work in family law, and I've seen ridiculous cases like like the most paid things like people do just to get back at their partner for the little crazy things. Like it's just ridiculous. And sometimes you feel like, did these people even actually love each other in the first place? Like, it's crazy, but that's the whole thing. And also, I grew up with this single mom, and one of the things that happened was that, which I'm really proud, is that my mom never used us like that, and she always gave us the opportunity to build a relationship with our dad, irrespective of their own issues. She always gave us that opportunity. And so, how can this happen? Like, how can people use their children? How can they weaponize their children? It comes in many different forms. Many different forms. Let's say, for example, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partners, and things like that, because that person does not want to be in your life in the capacity in which you want them. That can be as a boyfriend, that can be as a husband, as a partner, as a wife, as a girlfriend. And so, because they cannot be in your life in that capacity, or they don't want to be in your life in that capacity, that's even the most interesting part, when they don't want to be in your life in that capacity. So you use your child as a weapon against them, just to get back at them, just to hurt them, because you're not going to get married to me. So definitely, you're not going to see your child. You're not going to do this. So it comes like in many different forms. If, for example, girlfriend, boyfriend, and they're dating and stuff like that, and they have a child together, and probably the girl is hoping that this guy is going to get married to me, he's going to sweep me off my feet and everything, we're going to live happily ever after, blah, 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 blah. And then that person is not willing to be in your life in that capacity as a husband, but they just want to be a boyfriend or your baby daddy or any of those things. And then, because they don't want to be in your life in the capacity in which you want them to be, you use your child because you don't want to be in my life in this capacity. Therefore, you're not going to see your child. I'm going to make your life a living hell. And even it gets worse. Like if that person, if you separate with that person and probably they're in another relationship and be like, oh yeah, you're in a little happy relationship, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to make sure that your life is a living hell. I'm going to make sure it's going to be very difficult for you to have contact with your child because a lot of times people use their emotions. They use their emotions to serve the interest and even forget about the child. What does the child want? The law is clear. Look, the law is clear on that. It's always in the best interest of the child to have both parents in their life when circumstances allow it. And there are other cases where there are other scenarios where there are other issues that you might have, domestic abuse or things like that. I'm not going to go so much into that, talking about this specific scenario. And are you enabling those circumstances to make sure that your child have the opportunity to benefit from both parents? Because it is to nurture a child, for a child to grow up and things like that. They need those two people in their life, a male and female figure, to help them to grow. And it manifests as well. Let's say, for example, husband and wife, and they separate, and because that person is no longer your husband, you make their life living hell. They might move on. They are not in another relationship, or they get married again, but they still want to be. And one thing you need to understand is the people who actually want to be part of their children's life, who actively want to be part of their children's life. I'm not talking about the runaways. I'm going to come to them later. People who actually want to be part of their children's life. They are trying to be part of the children's life, and you're making it so much difficult for them to be part of their children's life. And they might be in another relationship, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, because you're having a little you guys are having a little happy family and things like that, and I'm here and I'm lonely. I'm going to make sure that it is difficult for you to see your child. I'm going to make sure that sometimes they even send your children to be as spies to see what is happening in that relationship. You, the child just want to go there just to spend time with the dad or things like that. But there are other things like, oh, FBI spy, look what they're doing, give me feedback. And in relationship, like in other situations where the child, like you weaponize your child, you use it and things like that. This person like is not going to be in my life in this capacity. Definitely, I am going to hurt you. And in so doing, you think you're being a good mom. No, you're not. Are you, the what questions you should ask yourself is like, are you serving your own selfish interest or are you serving the interest of the child? And if you're not serving the interest of the child, you're depriving your child from the basic right. And it goes to this as well for men because that person doesn't want to be in your life. Let's say, for example, also like separating couples because like the woman probably doesn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. They might have moved on, and then you can, or if in many manifest in the sense that they can either try to take away your children or just to fight with you, just to disrupt your life, or the worst of it, or they will just abandon their child because they'll be like, because you don't want to be in my life in this capacity, then here is your burden, take care of it, not my business, I don't want to be part of it. And then thinking, oh, by so doing, like abandoning your child, you are actually going to, you're hurting the woman in that sense because they have the sole burden and responsibility of taking care of that child. Or they still, the same thing with men, they still send the child like, okay, like go there, see what mom is all about, see all those things and stuff like that, give me feedback. Girlfriend boyfriend scenario is the same thing. Like, oh, probably the girl maybe doesn't want to be with you in a relationship anymore, based on different circumstances and things like that, and you just abandon the child. Or it might be a case where you're actually trying to be in your child's life, and your baby mama or your wife or partner, of those things, they are giving you so much like stress and headaches and hurdles and things like that, and you just think like, oh yeah, because you're doing this to me, then like I don't care. I am not going to come to see this child because of you. One thing you need to understand is that when two adult, two grown-up people, you have sex, you know that a third party is going to come in place, right? And one thing that the law is clear about is that it's not about mom's feeling, it's not about that feeling, it's what is in the best interest of the child. You just picture it like if you were a child, how would you want mom and dad to act? What would you want them to do? What would be your interest? How would you want to live? Even if they are not together, even if they are not together, they can work and compromise and find ways to arrange contact and make it work. If they think not about themselves, their own selfish interests, if they actually think about your interests, you are like the child is an innocent third party. Like sometimes people get confused and they mix things. The fact that someone cannot be a good husband, a good wife, a good boyfriend, girlfriend, or partner does not mean that automatically mean that they cannot be a good father or dad. Those two are not intertwined. Someone can be a horrible, someone can be like a bad partner, a bad boyfriend, a bad wife, but they can be a very good dad. They can be a very good mom. So sometimes there is this like gray line where people think that yeah, because oh you're a bad boyfriend to me, you're a bad girlfriend to me, so you're a horrible mom. No, that people can be very great husbands, great boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, but they are horrible, horrible parents. They are horrible mom. They're horrible dad. So don't get that twisted. So I know it's difficult when things happen. Like I've seen people with like cases where like even people have been married for like 20 years, 30 years, and these things like it gets hit up. And I ask myself like, did these people even actually love each other for living together in that really that long and then they can't get along? Like things happen. But I think one of the things which I just want everyone to take from this is that just step backward and think, am I serving my interests or am I serving the interests of my child? And if you have that objective view, you will keep away some of those emotions and you will not weaponize your child against your partner. I just want to say if you've been in a situation like that, baby mama, baby daddy drama, or you know people have been, I'm sure a lot of us have someone who've been in that situation, and or if you're a child that went through that situation and things like that, and you want to come to the show to talk about it, um, or you just want to reach out, you can always reach out to me, princetalkshow@gmail.com. All of the details are there on the screen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, subscribe. More juicy topics are coming up. Share, and you can always reach out on Insta, the Prince Talk Show, or reach out to me, Prince Arnold1, and I will see you in the next episode.